Good morning. John Hughes back on Fantastic Friday. I've got some loud birds here you might hear in the background. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We've been talking about stress as something negative and to be avoided. And clearly, if a person's in danger, or it's going to make them sick, or it's going to make them unhappy, those are stresses to definitely work on dealing with and avoiding whenever possible, or putting into proper perspective. But I'm going to suggest that not all stress is bad. In fact, we need to invite certain stresses into our life in the form of stretch goals that will allow us to progress. Let me say a couple things. First of all, if we aim at nothing, we will hit it, right? And if you think about it, a tree that has no force against it, like wind or whatever, won't be strong. A muscle that is not tested won't get stronger against greater resistance. You'll never have a relationship or get married if you don't run the risk of perhaps having your heart broken or just being rejected and not getting that date. If you don't change your budget, perhaps restricting yourself from impulse buying, or learn additional skills to become more valuable and learn better investment ideas, you won't progress financially. If you don't ask those deep questions about faith, and what's this all about? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? What happens when it's all over? You probably won't deepen faith. So, in everything, we should definitely explore and push ourselves out of our comfort zone. Again, another cliche is that we don't grow in our comfort zone. And if we keep doing the same thing we've always done, we will continue having what we've always had. So we've got to push ourselves, and that's going to push us into some fear, some anxiety, some unknowns, and that is going to be scary. But we've got to have goals. So it all really begins by sitting and thinking, where do I want to be? What do I want to have? What do I want to do? Who do I just want to be? What do I want to be able to contribute? Who do I want to be with? Where do I want to be in the future? 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, financially, spiritually, socially, physically, creative-wise, faith-wise, all the different areas of your life, okay? And then a real great gauge of how goals should be put together, once you've taken the time to answer those questions in all the different areas and ideally write them down, is a SMART goal. And that's specific. What exactly do you want to have? Who exactly do you want to be with? How much money do you want to have in the account? How much do you want to weigh, bench press? What will your future spouse look? And a great story about that is Darren Hardy wrote a long list of how his wife was going to be and how wonderful and what she could do and what she would look like down to the T. And then all of a sudden he looked at that list and said, oh my gosh, fantastic woman, but is she going to want the man that I currently am? So that actually helped him to put together who he needed to be able to be the man that was right for that woman. I think that's a great story. So specific, write down. The clearer you have of an idea, maybe it's a trip and you want to put a picture up on your desk, or write down the number that you want in your bank account. Whatever your goal is, be very clear on it. The next one is measurable. How will you know if you're making progress towards it, right? Where are you now? And are you making reasonable progress in reasonable time? That is what Tony Robbins would tell us is the formula for happiness, is continuous progress towards worthwhile goals. The next one, attainable, achievable. Remember, we're spelling the word SMART here. Is it something that you can do? Probably it's something you can do, but not with your current capabilities. So you're going to get to grow. All of us, we will get better. We will not bench press 300 pounds overnight. We will do it little by little, starting with benching our age, perhaps in the beginning, and grow. We won't get married until we go out on that first date and go through some struggles and challenges. We won't have $1 million in the bank till we first have 0 debt and 10,000 in the bank. So everything has to be measured over time. And then relevant. How does it play into your life? It's not something just to say, have $1 million in the bank. Very important to know, why are you doing whatever you are doing, so that you can put it in context of, I am doing this for a very clear, solid, specific, written down reason that I review regularly. And it makes sense to me, and it's going to add value to the world by achieving it. And then finally, time measured. And when are you going to want to achieve this? And at least the steps along the way. That kind of goes along with the attainable and the measuring the progress, but ideally having a specific date. I will do this come hell or high water by a certain date, and then go for it. So SMART goals. So there you go. Put yourself into the zone of not being comfortable so that you can grow, become better, to have more, do more, be more, and that is how you can use stress to your advantage to just make you better, be able to contribute more, and get more out of life. Thank you very much for joining. Please subscribe, share the channel, send your comments and thoughts. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you again soon.